Okay, this is Jacob Schmidt with DeerHuntingSchool.com. I'm looking at a property for a commenter had asked me to look over, show you some things I see. I actually, on this property here, I have a ton of information that me and him's been emailing back and forth about, so I actually know a lot for sure about this property. Some of it I gathered by looking on the aerial photo and kind of knew. But he's confirmed a lot of information for me, so I'm not quite. I know a lot more information about this property than all the rest of them that I've done. So what we've got here, and what it is he asked me to look within the next couple days where I would hunt or where I would focus on the deer. So I think this video may enlighten a lot of people. So hang in here with me on this video because it may actually enlighten you about a few things. Okay, so here we go. What it is this piece of property right here, this big green blob you see, and what this actually was. All of this was farmland. I'm going to just take you back on timeline and James, this is how I knew a lot of this information. Was going back. I'm going to go back to the furthest one. This is how I knew that these were old farm fields. And this here is how I knew that these were large trees around the perimeter area. And up in this area. And then on the lower side of your property, which I think actually these have been wiped out now. And some of these have. But what has happened is over time, somewhere between 1998 and 1988, I'm sorry, somewhere between 1988 and 1998, I believe they stopped farming this, period. Why, I'm not sure. Maybe because it's floods all the time or something. I have no idea why. But they stopped farming it, so what has happened is these fields have actually grown up, and he has confirmed that it's grown up with poplar trees, and they're young, but they're older than trees that would be a really thick area, that would be a core bedding area for deer. They're older than that. Now there may be some spots, some patches, especially in these areas that, as you see, it took longer for them to grow up. There may be some spots of some bedding areas. Okay, so that you definitely on properties like this, you want to be looking. I'm going to go to a little bit clearer picture where you can see. Okay, where you guys can see. So, okay, these areas here, probably a lot of water in them, but I'm sure there's some spots where it's thick. The main Now here's a pretty good picture. We're going to stay with this picture for a minute. This field right here, he's confirmed, is in soybeans right now. There's a little field here that is in radish. He has confirmed that. I thought he had said this field had already been picked. I was interested in what is the story with this field here. I guess they're probably the same field. The picture I was looking at, I couldn't tell. I just remembered that this field was up here. The reason is there's some funnels on this thing that it really interests me. That's the reason I was asking about this field. So I guess that's the same field. James is 12. Whether it had been planted or not, it doesn't matter because it's been picked. It's not really a food source. And the main food source right now is not going to be even the soybean or the radishes. The main food source is going to be these oak trees. At this time of year, he is asking this towards the latter part of October. The acorns are falling. Probably where this is at, most of them are probably on the ground. I'm sure there's still a few falling, but most of them are going to be on the ground. If I'm hunting this area, I'm definitely interested in these oak trees that are around here. If there are white oak trees, I'm for sure interested in them if there are any acorns on the ground. The problem with white oaks is they may mostly be gone where you're at, but you may still have some acorns. But you may still have some white oak acorns. So what we're going to do is I'm fixing to take we're going to take the picture, draw some things out on this thing, and show you what we've got, what I would do, and not just for you and your son hunting. Let me pull the map up so you can see it. Maybe I didn't see it. But these white oaks, I would definitely, I mean these oak trees, I'm sorry, that are all up through here. These are should be some very large trees. Here, all up through here. We're going to draw this out in just a second. And this, I believe, is around 170 acres. I measured it out. It should be around 170 acre patch of woods. Pretty close, give or take a few. So anyways, pretty good sized piece of property. But if I was going to hunt this tomorrow and the next couple days, if I was coming in blind, never seen the property like I have right now, I have a lot of information on it from you. When I looked at it, I figured there's going to be some oak trees in this area here and this southern part and up along this creek that you had confirmed there's a creek type of deal here. This area here should be some oak trees in this area. Because you can go back and that's why I always recommend Google Earth. You can go back and look at this. Okay, these trees were there a long time ago. These trees were there in 1988. Okay, they were there. Okay, so we can go back now, and these trees were still there, and it looked like they had just stopped farming it not too long from 1998. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this picture and draw some things out, and I'll show you what I see. But I'm definitely interested in the oak trees. So let's go ahead and stick with me on this dude, and we're going to draw this out. Okay, here we go. Here's the property. I'm going to just draw some things out here. First of all, I'm just going to I'm going to circle the big large trees around the property. This area here. Let me fix this bigger. Okay, this southern area. This area here has some large trees. Okay, around the edge of the property. Okay, these trees have oak trees. So this area, James, this is the area you said I guess for the next 4 days you and your son's going to be hunting it. This is the area I would be concentrating on, just to make simplify your question. Deer generally are going to prefer oak acorns as a food source. Okay, there's deer out in here somewhere. I'm not sure where they're bedding and things. But and you said there were some scrapes in this area over in here somewhere. Okay. Now some of that may be and some rub lines and stuff because the deer were feeding in this here, and I'm sure they still are. You're still going to have deer feeding out here in this field. Okay, and this soybean. This is soybeans. You're still going to have deer feeding out there, and this is radish, you said, right here. Okay, you're still going to have deer feeding in that, but in the daytime, I believe more of your deer are going to be feeding in these oak trees. Now, the reason I had asked about this field up here, this was the field I was talking about, which was above 12. This was 12, and this was 13 you had sent me. The reason that I had asked about this, the picture, I could barely even see the corner of it, but I remembered that field. Now, this is going into more in the future and things. When these fields here are food sources, okay, you've got a funnel here, and it comes right into your property, right here, okay, and 13, same thing, you've got a funnel here, and it comes into your property, okay. Here you have a little bit of a funnel. This would be tough to hunt, I think. You have more of a funnel out here on someone else's property as these deer are coming out of yours and necking down here. You've got a funnel here, and this funnel leads to another big patch of woods, like a mile and a half away, and that is this funnel here. So the yellow, you have funnel other than the X's. When, for the future, and any of you guys that has property like this, if you have food source out here okay, if you have food source in these fields, anytime you have wood lines going out like this is into the food source, you're going to have a funnel, and a lot of times you'll have staging areas, feeding staging areas for bucks and older deer. Okay, they'll come out into these areas here. Let me change colors where I'm going to put the blue X's. They'll come out into these funnels where I'm putting the blue X's, and they'll stage a lot of times, as the does may go out in these fields early to feed. The bucks, they'll hold back, and the older deer will hold back a little bit, and they'll be usually the last deer out in the food to feed. So now it does you no good, James, here to hunt. You can't hunt here, and with the way your property is, you may be lucky when I tell you this in a second. You can't hunt here, but these are funnels, okay? Now, it makes no sense to hunt one of these funnels or the other when you have the perfect spot where you can hunt here and catch the deer coming in and out of both funnels, okay? And I'm going to put a green X there so it's very visible. Here is a very good stand location in the future. Early season, especially when these are under food, and late season, once the deer run out of acorns and things like that, and they revert back to these picked food crops to scavenge up the little bit of leftover stuff that the combines and things dropped, okay? Because these deer are going to convert back to these fields late in the season in search of food when there is none. So these are going to become food sources when they're planted later in the season. Same with this soybean field. Later in the season, this is going to be a magnet, okay? But for you and your son, I would definitely stick with the oak trees in these areas. The first day, I don't know if you've walked it down in here or anything, but I see some areas, especially, and then I know this hasn't zoomed in, but I see some patches. What you need to look for is areas, anything that is going to keep the deer, because I think you're bow hunting it in a tight range where you can get a good shot, okay, at the deer. And this is fairly wide across here, okay. Now this area here is narrow enough. If you're really good, you can shoot most of it. I've measured that out. I think it's like 80 yards, 85 yards or something. Okay, this area here. But I do see some open areas, like here, where I'm putting the green. There are open areas that I can see there when I was zoomed in. So there may not be nothing there. So what may happen if these are open areas? The deer may actually, what a lot of times deer, when they're feeding and stuff, they just kind of zigzag back and forth. But they may actually just kind of feed like this, or come down and feed in here, and that may help you to neck them down a little bit. But I would definitely do that. Another funnel you have is here, right here, for the future, and possibly even now, because this connects this way. Is a huge, it's a long ways, but, and I know there's a creek there, but it's definitely a funnel, as it funnels them deer from your property to another without them having to go out in the open field. Okay, out in the open. So this could possibly be a spot, and you should have some oak trees right in here. You should have some oaks, some acorns, okay? So that could possibly be a spot. That's definitely where I would be looking at on this property here. Stand locations later in the season. As these deer, especially this soybean field here, as you get time, you can park here. You can come up here, park on one of these roads with some good binoculars and just look out into these fields and watch where these deer and stuff are coming out. And then you can set up stands. Let's say the deer are coming out here, you can set with binoculars, and even early season you can set back and see where these deer are coming out, and then you come in and set up inside here. Okay, so that's definitely the area I'm going to concentrate on if I were you over the next couple days as you and your son's hunting, is this red circled area in these oaks. I'm going to concentrate on the food source on the oaks, especially in the evening. In the morning, if you're going to hunt it, you really need to get in there pretty early. It's tough to go in a food source in the morning because the deer are usually already in there when you come in, and a lot of times you push them out. So I may, in the morning, would hunt a funnel, like maybe this funnel here, and maybe this funnel here, because actually you have, these should be oak trees here too. So in the mornings I would concentrate on not trying to get down into this red area. I would get in there in the evening and hunt that in the evening because the deer are going to be coming to it. And remember the wind, okay? Remember the wind. So what we on this property, on this type of property here in the future, and for all the viewers and people looking at this, guys, we have funnels. The funnels are important. Okay, there are funnels on this property, and I'm going to green check them. There's a funnel here. Okay, there's a funnel here. There's a funnel here. There's a conversion point of these two funnels right here. Okay, so you have a conversion point of the funnels. Okay, and that is right here. Okay, where two funnels meet together and come into this area of woods. Okay, now you have food. Of course you have the crops. We have food. Okay, food. I'm gonna have to write it out. We have the food. We've identified the food. Of course we have the soybeans. We have the radish. We have oaks. Probably going to be some oaks here. Should be some oaks right up here where I've already got a deal, but there should be oaks there, and I know this is getting a mess. There's oaks all down through here scattered. If you have white oaks, they're going to be preferred over any other. But even the acorns are going to be preferred over the soybeans. The deer are still going to eat them, but they're going to feel much more safer in this wooded area before they go out into these open fields. So you may hunt in the evening. These can kind of be used as travel corridors as the deer will feed on their way to back and from these fields and stuff, because deer are going to eat a variety of food. So we have the food, the bedding area. I'm not sure on this property if you can find bedding area, you're good to go. So I'm not sure about the bedding area. We haven't found any bedding area, but we have found funnel. Like I said, we found a conversion point funnel. We found funnels, multiple funnels, okay. We found the food sources, and I would say definitely the oak trees is the deal. Haven't found any bedding areas. So this video here, that should help you guys out. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a little lengthy, but I think we covered quite a bit of information that'll help you guys. And if you have properties and things like this here, guys, I hope this will help you on your properties. This is Jacob with DeerHuntingSchool.com. I hope you enjoyed the video. For more information on deer hunting, check out DeerHuntingSchool.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.